From Hollow Knight to Celeste, these are popular games that were first game jams. Game jams are a popular way to prototype your game and test new ideas. For those that are new to game jams, you, the developer or team, either have a limited time frame, a theme, or limitation to complete a creative masterpiece of a game. However, beneath the surface of this exhilarating adventure lies a formidable foe. Completing a game jam project is no small feat. The limited timelines, technical hurdles, and impending danger of scope creep create difficulties that participants must navigate with skill and determination. In this video, I will go over reasons why these events are so challenging to conquer from a concept of completion. So a quick intro about me. I've done over 40 game jams that I submitted over the past few years. I've done Bracky's game jams, I've done Blackthorn Proj game jams, I've done Bimlark game jams, I've done all kinds of game jams. I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start hosting my own game jams, and this is where Mick Jam came along. I started hosting my own games, and I got a good amount of participants that would join, but I wouldn't get too many submissions that would come in. Just to motivate others, I would also participate in my own game jams and make my own submissions. I would stream it live just to see like kind of motivate others to also do the same. But still, it was kind of challenging for some others just to finish and completing the game jams they were looking for. So it got me into curious, why is it that game jams are so difficult to complete? So let's get started with the list. The obvious and most difficult is time constraint. I've seen a couple of devs mention who participated in my game jam said, "Oh, I have enough time to finish a game real easy." However, when the deadline comes around, they really didn't have that much time and they didn't submit anything. A great solution for time constraint is always have your game loop complete. So what does it mean to have your game loop complete? It means, say for example, you're making a platformer, just have your game, have the player move to this goal real quick from day one. So the idea is when you're, in my case, when I make a game jam, what I like to do is create my player, have it move, and then just have the final goal, whatever it may be, kill the enemy, all right, or just reach the flag. And as I go, I make the game more difficult. So then that way, if something, let's say life happens, something, an emergency I need to do, something happens, I can't work on the game anymore. I have my goal complete, right? I have my final destination completed. So all I have to do is just implement it, maybe make a little bit of polishing, and then just submit the game. The second factor to completing a successful game jam is, of course, scope creep. The problem with scope creep is there's a lot of times you want to add extra features to your game, but you say, oh, I have enough time to do this. I don't have to worry about my primary, like it could be like your primary shoot or primary objective, right? You can kind of go down the sub-theme sort of thing. And sometimes I say sometimes don't do that. I would say just focus on your primary objective. Like say in my case, I'm making a hook shot. I want to only focus on that mechanic only on hook shot. I don't want to go into the feature maybe having him shoot or having him shoot missiles for my player. That might be something extra if I have time, but primarily you want to focus on your first task and not kind of like go over down that fork road and oh I can add this extra feature. Let me add this extra shooting or maybe let me add this extra feature that I can have my player do. The third most difficult factor to completing a game jam is technical challenges. So technical challenges could be like you want to try something new. In my case, when I first started making a 3D game for the first time, I had some technical challenges trying to make the player move, kind of using the camera around with the mouse. Those could be technical challenges you may have in your case. Maybe you're not as good as coding something or you have a difficulty looking up how to, make the player move. It could be some sort of challenge in that aspect of coding or could even be art as well or even animation. I know a few game devs that didn't want to submit their games just because the animation didn't flow correctly. Those are technical challenges that you have to kind of overcome. In my case, what I like to do is try out before I start the game jam, maybe just kind of test an idea or have in mind and to kind of master it. You don't want to try something new that you may have a little bit of a challenge too much. You could try it out, but still, just don't overdo it. Don't over focus on it to the point where you just frustrated. You want to break your keyboard. You still want to keep that in mind. Just take your chance to code and debug the game, and then slowly come up to a solution. I actually still struggle with this factor of creating a game jam is creative blocks. So creative blocks is when you're trying to make a game and you have like you want to make a unique game idea. You don't want to just make another top-down game engine or a shooter, whatever it may be. You want something cool, unique, creative. A lot of times you just get stuck thinking and thinking and thinking. You get to the point that you don't end up making a game. You have a bunch of cool ideas, but you don't have that unique factor that makes your game stand out. So usually what I like to do is come up with a simple solution is maybe play some video games. So here's the thing. Play games, play something that is really unique that you might like maybe an upside down world. That could be something that kind of created too. Or you can do the viewpoint of an enemy instead of the players. Instead of you're playing the main hero, you're playing the enemy. And sometimes you just don't want to do any game jams. Maybe you do participate, but you just don't have the motivation to make a game. That sometimes happens. Sometimes you do feel the burnout of the time limitation. Maybe you just not in the mood to make a game. And I would suggest that's normal process. You really have, this is just so you guys know, game development is a creative art. Even though it has to do with coding, there's math, there's other kinds of things involved, but you have to be creatively motivated to do it. Usually you have to kind of be in a safe space, you want to be comfortable, you have to be in a mood to create a game. And of course, the last factor to completing a successful or even a game jam in general is, of course, you feel you're not good enough. And this is common with game developers. Sometimes you just feel that your game just lacks, and compared to others, it doesn't look good. So you don't want to submit it. You want to submit something great. So people will say, "Wow, this is amazing! It can make $1 million," right? It usually that's not the case. I would have to say, always just celebrate the small wins, even if it's just something like making the player move or just having the player shoot. Those are small goals. And in my case, anybody that does participate in game jams, especially that joins my Discord, we're all supportive of new game developers. And that's what's really important. So even if you make something small or if it's just you feel it's not good, don't worry. Everybody here will celebrate you. Will say, hey, this is a really great accomplishment. Not too many people can make a game. Even just a quick small game, it takes a lot of concentration, focus, and determination. So the important thing just to remember into completing a game jam is always be in the good mood. Know that there's people that will participate and help you out if you need help. And that's where I left this video off. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, do the usual, and you can check out my Discord and let me know if you'd like to participate in the next Make Jam. I'm doing this monthly, and we can set up a theme and start making your first game jam.